Hey there, if you're an occupational therapist or a physical therapist and it's your goal to become a certified hand therapist, but studying for the CHT seems so hard, it seems or feels very intimidating, and it feels like there's just a lot to study and you're just not really sure of where to get started. My name is Huang. I'm an occupational therapist and certified hand therapist, and I'm here to help you. I've been helping OTs and PTs over the last greater than 5 years through Hand Therapy Secrets to be able to feel really comfortable and confident that it's their turn and it's time to study for the CHT and be able to hit your personal and professional goals, right? It doesn't feel good when you're studying and stopping and studying and stopping and putting the dates off time and time again. It really doesn't feel good when you're trying to read and you spend 2 hours, 3 hours reading, and then you feel like you don't remember anything. And it really doesn't feel good if you're spending months on end studying this one topic, and then by the time you go to the next topic, you feel like you've forgotten everything else. And so on and on and on it goes, where you're putting off that exam date time and time again. Now, maybe you have taken the exam and you haven't passed. Well, I'm here to help you as well. Again, my name is Huang. I'm an occupational therapist and certified hand therapist, and let me invite you to my free live masterclass that I'm hosting. Let me share. I'm going to be hosting a free masterclass where I'm going to share with you some tips and tricks on how to study for the CHT smarter, not harder, in less time. How often have we heard that, it takes years to study, but I don't think it has to take years to study. You can actually do it within months, right? How often have you heard that it's so hard to study for the CHT exam? But what if we could do things where you could study smarter, not harder? Yes, the CHT exam is hard, right? I'm not going to lie about that. There's a lot of information to know. There's ways in which you can study to make it a little bit easier for you. So let's talk about who this masterclass is for. This masterclass is for someone who's an OT or PT, right? So sorry, if you're an assistant, then the Hand Therapy Commission doesn't qualify you to sit for the exam because there's a huge portion that goes into evaluations. So OTs and PTs can sit for the exam. If you have 4,000 hours in upper extremity management, then you qualify to sit for the exam, and you'd be great for the masterclass. Now, if you're not really sure that you qualify for the 4,000 hours, or if you're really close to the 4,000 hours, I've written a whole checklist and broken myths on what is included, what do those 4,000 hours mean, and I'm going to leave the link below so you can just grab that guide and see, do I qualify? You have to have a minimum of 3 years work experience as a therapist. So if you have 3 years, let's go. If you're like 2.5, and you're thinking, I want to study so I can take it right at my 3-year mark, this is for you as well. And really at the end of the day, the person who's ready for the masterclass is someone who is ready to study, right? Listen, I hear it all the time. Oh, I want to become a CHT. I want to become a CHT. But wanting doesn't mean that you're actually going to take the steps to do the thing that's required for you to be able to pass, right? And so I want to talk to people who are ready. I want to talk to people who are interested. And I want to talk to people who are serious about it, right? Because I think people who are serious about taking the CHT exam and feel like they're ready for it, or maybe they just need some words of encouragement to be ready for it. But if you're ready to put it in the work, then I'm here to help you, right? So that's who the masterclass is for, and it's for someone who, I think when I think about studying for the CHT, I think 6 months to a year in terms of a time frame to study. So if you're new out of school and you're like, I want to do it, but you don't yet qualify and you're so far away from that goal, wait. Get on my email list, grab the guide, the checklist to see what qualifies, what it means. And then when you're ready, you come to another masterclass that I'll be attending. But for right now, who's the masterclass for? It's for someone who's ready and wants to sit for the CHT exam, because I'm going to give you real tips and tricks that you can do right away, right now. Now, why should you come? Well, outside of tips and tricks, I'm sure you've heard it before. People have told you to read the purple book, study the brachial plexus, but really there's so many ways in which you can study that will make it easier for you, right? So one of the reasons why I think most people stop studying or don't even give themselves a chance to become a CHT is because of the rhetoric that we hear all the time, which is it's so hard, there's so much to study, but really it doesn't have to be that way. And if you are to come to the masterclass, I'm going to share with you what's required to pass. Now, if you follow a particular curriculum, which is, I believe, in the order in which to do things, so it can make it easier for you, right? The order in which you do things makes it easier. So let's say, for example, you're working with a patient who's really stiff and they can't move their fingers, but you are asking them to strengthen with putty, but they don't even have motion. So the order in which to do things matters so that it makes it easier for the patient so that they can feel like they're making progress. And it's not that different for us as therapists, right? So we follow the curriculum and study the curriculum in a particular order that makes it easier for us. It won't stop you from becoming a CHT. You don't have to say it so hard. There are ways in which to make it easier for you. I'm going to also share my technique on chunking. And that's a really big topic for me, like what's made teaching my course to other students, how we can chunk things down to make it easier for us. You have a lot of information in here, and it's just about being able to chunk it in a way that's organized that helps you to make it easier for you to study. And if you make it easier for you to study, guess what? You're going to do it in less time. You're going to feel comfortable and you're going to feel confident that you're going to be able to hit those goals of yours so you can sit for the test date that you pick, right? Draw a line in the sand to say, this is the date I'm going for. If you say, I'll do it whenever, I'll do it later, you want it, but wanting really isn't enough to be able to get you across that finish line. Some of you are so close. I feel like there's so many OTs that are just so close to becoming a CHT. And part of it is just feeling like you have the curriculum down, that you know how to chunk, and then really at the end of the day, know how to focus, right? I've heard it before. Listen, I have done this myself where I have just read a whole chapter and at the end, not remember what I read or not understood anything that I have read. I've done it. So I feel like if I've done it, and it's not like I did it one time, I've done it over and over. If I've done it, I know that other people are struggling with that too. And my students tell me all the time how they struggle to read that Rehab of the Hand. But Rehab of the Hand is one of the major resources, right? Major books to study from. And there are ways in which to use that resource to your advantage so you can study smarter and not harder and get to the test date. So get to the test date, make it in less time. There's a certain amount of urgency that we have to put to when we're doing tough things so that we'll get through it, right? And I'm here to help you get through it. My goal, my mission is to help OTs feel more comfortable and confident that becoming a CHT is something that is doable for you. So my question is, why not you? Why not you to be the next certified hand therapist? So much of it is that is required is just that you believe that it's possible and that you give yourself a chance. And I don't want to exclude PTs here because I hate excluding people. And I think that sometimes the OT world has a lot more hand therapists, but I have heard from PTs that they also want to do hand therapy. They also want to, explore this specialty. And you're totally welcome as well. Why not you? Of course it can be you. If you're interested and you're serious and you want to study to become a certified hand therapist, my goal is to help you. So click the link below. I've got the link so that you can join me on my free masterclass. I'll see you there.